In this video, I'll finish fairing the bottom of the boat.
So here at the front of the boat, I've already kind of roughed, power planed, and sanded this. But what Dan Lee taught me is how to check to see if things are the proper length. And part of the problem is that you can really force these things down. So it's not as simple as one might want to hope. But you can kind of get an idea. If it's flat here, it's pretty flat on that board, and it's flat here, that it's pretty well fared across. You're gonna get, when you put the big boards on, you'll get with the real planking, you'll get a nice tight fit. As I move forward, it's a little stiff, but it's a little harder to do. But you get the idea. Boy, maybe this is just too thick. It's hard to get that to really come in. And I think like up here, the part of the problem is I need to round this off more. This, I think this is called a chine bottom rail. I'm going to try to put that on. I'm a little bit high back here, and then clearly this top ridge needs to get smoothed out a little bit. And it's going to be hard for me really to explain this, but fairing these frames is the exact same way you did it on the side of the boat. When you're trying to bring these down, if you're bringing these down, and let's say I brought this down perfectly and I had 1/8 of an inch gap on the front here and everything else was lining up pretty well, what I want to do is take 1/8 of an inch off the back so that it can all lay nice and tight here. This one I could probably just take a smidge off. So let me see if I can explain this up here pretty well, if you can see it on the camera. When I take this and bend it all the way through, what you can see is that I'm hitting the front of this board. So this needs to be taken off some. And I have a gap that looks to be about 1/16 of an inch in the back. So to get this flattened out a little bit, I'm gonna take about 1/16 inch off the front here. And I'll show you at least how I'm gonna try to do this. What I'm gonna do is just mark 1/16 of an inch just to get an idea that this thing's pretty small that needs to come off. And I'm just gonna try to sand it through. And I'll warn you ahead of time, I'm gonna use the power sander. I'm not gonna try to plane this. There's epoxy in here, there's plywood. This is just gonna be a mess. It gets a little bit better. I still have maybe 1/32 of an inch to take off there. And actually it's the back side here, so I gotta kind of come in and flatten that out. I think I'm gonna call that good enough. Down here on this frame, I feel pretty good. I have, back here, I can see I have the same thing. I'm a little bit high in the front, so gotta take a little bit more off here. I got a little high spot right there. I probably took too much off the front. Got a little high spot right in there. So yeah, you can actually feel how that is. You know, it's actually working pretty darn well. Can take a little bit off here, and then I'm pretty good, I think. It's always where I have this extra plywood that seems to be getting in the way. When you put these on, you really have to be careful not to force them to get a false sense that you're making this flat, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, I'm forcing it. I think getting it perfect is going to be incredibly difficult, so what I'm gonna do is probably get this first layer nice and tight on here, and then use a lot of fairing compound and thicken epoxy or however I'm supposed to do this to get it fair. Because I'm feeling pretty good, but you know, can I really get this thing within, geez, I'm pretty close here. Yeah, I can see I gotta take a little bit off right there would help it. And of course, at the front here, it's just gotta be kind of sanded smooth. So I'll work on those too. This makes me a little nervous. As it should. I'm obviously grinding in here a little bit. It's interesting, when you put it this way, it fits nicely. When I put it this way, up here, pretty good. Down here, a whole lot more challenging. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna keep taking this and checking out and sanding things to make sure I get it fair. I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. I'm just going to repeat on this side of the boat. And the upper part here looks pretty good. Same thing, I'm hitting here. So this one I probably have to take almost, boy, maybe 1/8 of an inch off the back here. But something really interesting is here you can see I actually have to smooth and round this off a little bit, probably on both sides. I don't think I measured that so well. This side's pretty good, actually. This side's not bad at all. It's really the other side. Yeah. I can see that this side I stopped, I kind of feather it here. This side, the feathering stops way up here. So, just gonna feather those out. Okay, that's fitting a little better. Still a little bit higher right here. I don't know how much I want to mess with it, to be honest with you. Maybe just a smidge right up in here. Okay, a smidge there and just a touch more here. Pretty good. That back one's actually in pretty good shape. But really, it's just right up in here. That feels better. All this feels pretty good, actually. I think I'm just going to smooth it out and maybe just take off a little on the top right here. Okay, I like it. So as I fair the bottom of the boat, it's become pretty clear that this chine bottom rail needs to be trimmed up a little bit, because when I put my board here, you can see there's a gap between the stringer and the chine bottom rail. And if I go ahead and put things back on like this, you can see I can get everything to fit better, but it butts right up there. So I've got to start planing this down a little bit more. So that is what I'm going to do. like to use this bench dog to get right down to the edge there. It's getting a little closer, but it's not quite there. As you move back, you can see how much I got to take off. Not insignificant. It's probably a 1/16 of an inch. But as you go further back and things are flat, everything's pretty good. So it's really up here where the boat curves more. I got to take a lot more off this chine bottom rail. So now what I'm going to do, I think things are looking pretty fair, but some of these I just want to rough them up so that when I go to bond the plank, I have something, a good rough surface to bond it to. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just kind of cleaning up every frame here now.
Till next time, cheers.